Hello 5K. Today's lesson is adding and subtracting decimals, which is chapter 3, lesson 5. So in today's lesson, we are learning to add and subtract like place values and evaluate expressions with 3 decimals. So in order to do this, we are going to apply our skills that we learned in our orders of operations lessons in chapter 2, as well as what we have been doing so far in chapter 3 with adding and subtracting decimals. So with that being said, we know that we must line up our decimals when we are adding and subtracting, and we always must remember that we are going to annex zeros in the decimal to make sure that we have the same amount of digits in each decimal when adding and subtracting. So let's get started. So right here I have 9 minus 3 and 231 thousandths plus 5 and 72 hundredths. So my first step is I'm going to write 9, and remember, I'm subtracting a decimal from the 9. So there's always that imaginary 0 right there. So I'm going to put my 0. And then I have 3 and 231 thousandths. So I know I must annex my zeros. So I have the same amount to my thousandths place. Okay, so now I'm ready to subtract. So I cannot take 1 from 0. So I'm going to go next door until the 9 becomes an 8. Now my 10 will become a 9. This 10 will also become a 9, and I'm starting at 10. And I'm going to subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. I'm going to bring down my decimal. And 8 minus 3 is 5. So before I move on, I want to use my strategy to check my answer just to make sure that I did this correctly. So I know I'm going to add my bottom 2 numbers, my difference from what I subtracted it from. So I'm going to take my 5 and 769 thousandths, and I'm going to add it to 3 and 231 thousandths to see if I get the answer of 9. Then I know that I subtracted correctly. So 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm carrying my 1. 6 plus 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Carrying my 1. 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Carrying my 1, bring down my decimal, and 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I know I did the first part of my problem correctly. Now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to take my difference, which is 5 and 69 thousandths. I'm going to add that to 5 and 72 hundredths. So I know my first step is I need to annex my 0, and I am ready to add. So I know that 9 plus 0 is 9. I know 6 plus 2 is 8. I know that 7 plus 7 is 14. I'm going to carry my 1 and come right back down and bring down my decimal. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. So I have 11 and 489 thousandths as my final answer. But I just want to quickly recheck. So I'm going to take my answer. So I have my sum, which is 11 and 489 thousandths. If I subtract one of these numbers, I'll get the other number. So I'm going to subtract 5 and 720 thousandths to see if I get 5 and 769 thousandths. So 9 minus 0 is 9. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 7, I know I can't do. I'm crossing out this one. I'm making it a 0. 14 minus 7 is going to give me 7. I'm bringing down my decimal. 0 minus 5 I cannot do. I'm going to cross out my 0, make it a 1. My 1, make it a 0. 10 minus 5 is 5. So my answer, I have 5 and 769 thousandths, which matches, meaning that my answer is correct of 11 and 489 thousandths. Please use this video as a reference when you are doing your work. Remember, our most important things are we are following order of operations. So I'm always going from left to right if it's just involving addition and subtraction. Make sure that you are lining up your decimals at all times and annexing zeros. All right, good job.